All right, welcome back to the Director's Garage, guys. I am your host and resident idiot. A little under the weather today, and I'm going to apologize now. I'm not up to snuff. I've got a little bit of a cold. It's not COVID, I can tell you that. It's just some sickness, some bug. So if I'm sneezy, if I'm disgusting, if I cough, I'll try to cover the mic. I'll try to, take care of things. But yeah, just not feeling myself, just not up to it. I thought it was COVID. I was fairly convinced it was COVID, and tested negative all week. It's just a cold. I've done home tests. I've done PCR tests. I've done everything. It is not COVID. So cheers. It's been a very, very uneventful week for me. I've been laid up in bed most of the week, and I'm just kind of getting through it, So cheers to you all. Cheers to you all. I hope you guys are having a better week than I've been having. I've been, like I said, I've just been around the house. I've been sitting here taking care of business that I can and sleeping a lot. And you know how it is. When you get sick, it's just not very fun. But at least I'm sick and like hanging out with y'all, so it's better than what I've been doing the rest of the week, which is being bored out of my mind. Listen to some music, but even your head's clogged up. It's not a fun time to even listen to music. It's just not. You just kind of want to be and get through it and move on with your life. So I hope everyone's having. Let me tell you what we're going to do today. By the way, I have a box right here. It's got lots of markings on it and cool stuff. And it's from Audeze, or Audeze if you're me. And they have had my carbon at the factory for probably 2 months. Since I went down there. I dropped the carbon off for them, and it finally came home. It came home this week. And I was trying to debate, do I want to take a full episode? I've got a lot of stuff lined up for the regular show that for various, as you guys know, I've been trying to get those episodes out. We had a good week for episodes. I posted on a Tuesday. I felt really good about it. And a lot of you guys watched that episode. That was really cool. That was the, this headphone, the HER9 review with the Bluetooth and all that. And I had somebody comment about these and say, hey, you're not checking out the Bluetooth the right way. And I checked it, and it, I don't know, it didn't impress me. So some people, I had one viewer who said he swears by the Bluetooth on the thing, and I can't get it to perform. When I jump up in speed on the thing, it gets real finicky and drops audio, and it's not a good time. So I didn't do any. So I kind of stand by that Bluetooth assessment. I just don't think it delivers, and it's not worth $150 extra. And frankly, the headphone's kind of good. It just is big and kind of not so pretty, except for the finish. So I got that review came out on Tuesday. If you guys saw it, that was the last episode of the Director's Garage. The next episode, I'm probably gonna shoot a little teaser for, because I don't want to do it when I'm kind of under the weather like I am right now. I want to do that episode when I'm at full health and can really put my all into it, because it's going to be a big episode. I've got something really, really massive coming to open, and I'm going to show off. It's something I've been waiting on for months and months, and I'm really excited that it's here, and it's going to be a big, very expensive episode. Cheers. Coke, you need to sponsor me sooner rather than later. So that's the next major episode. I just don't want to shoot it until I'm feeling better, but it's going to be a major one. And I can't just wait. The guesses are really fun, seeing everybody guess in the comments, but nobody's even remarkably close. Yeah, it's definitely, it's out there. It's something out of left field. I can't wait to do that. But we do have the carbon. I'll do that in a while. Let everybody kind of find us because I didn't really advertise today's show. I was on the fence about whether I was going to go live or not. And at the last minute, I'm just like, screw it. We'll just go up. And if everybody wants to tune out, go ahead and tune out. Because you don't want to hear me stuffed up and, not on my game. But, hey, we're doing reality here. So this is as real as it gets. How are you all? What's going on this week? What have I missed? Has anything happened in the world? Yeah, throw some rum. We'll get the rum flowing tonight. Let's get drunk. So now I can be laying around the house drunk and my wife comes home. That's a good plan. Zev, are you married? I do hope you guys are having a great week. Like I said, I haven't done much around here audio-wise. It's been just kind of hanging out and trying to get through this stupid illness. And like I said, for those of you jumping in, not COVID, tested 4 times this week. I've had already 4 tests, 3 PCRs and 1 just home test, all negative. It's just a cold, and I got it from Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney got me sick. Yeah, I was at the McCartney concert on last Friday, and as you know, and it was featured in the last episode, I turned that around, got that footage in there, and kind of had fun with John playing. If you didn't see it, it's in the last episode at the top. It was a headline. And I showed off what happened during the concert when it was the moment. We've all been kind of hearing about this. If you know anything about McCartney, we've all heard about it. Peter Jackson sent him footage of John Lennon singing on the at the rooftop concert in 68 and on Savile Row, and and they recorded that obviously for the Let It Be movie, and it didn't come out till 1970, but they recorded that. And they ISO'd John's tracks and sent it to Paul with the video married. And so in the concert, when he sings "I've Got a Feeling," John pops up and takes his refrain at the end. Everybody had a hard year, all that. And it was really a neat moment when you're in the middle of this, you're watching the concert, and all of a sudden John Lennon, had a Paul McCartney concert. That's pretty bitchin'. It was a pretty bitchin' moment. Unfortunately, that was about the only thing that I really took away that was great about. And it's no comment. Look, I know Paul doesn't have the voice he used to have. It's been a number of years. His voice is in decline. We all know it. But, and I still can go there and watch it and get a lot out of it because he's such a performer. And it's just amazing to be in a space with that talent, with that mind that wrote all of those amazing songs for so long. And but it was the exact same show as he did at Dodger Stadium the year before the pandemic, 2019, and I got the opportunity to go to that for a lot less money because I bought scalp tickets. Some people that were just like, we got to get rid of these things, it's the day of the concert, and they just posted it on, I don't know, it was like on Facebook something or other, and I went, sure, I'll take them, and they were like $150. Not this time. This time I paid retail, and that was not cheap, folks. And to go there and then to have it be the exact same concert with the same, it's the same set of new songs, the same set of old songs. They switched out a couple here and there, and they added some stuff from Abbey Road, but it was it really was basically the same concert. That was a little bit of, it was a bit of a letdown because I thought, God, he's had 2 years to work on this stage show. It's going to be something totally different. And it was, the name of the tour is Got Back, and it's like, I got back to the show I did in 2019, I guess. I just made that up now. So great. But yeah, that's, if you're curious at all, I covered a little bit, and then I just did a couple of minutes on it in the last episode. Nice short episode. I was really happy that I got the episode, kept it tight, got it out in under 20 minutes. I was very happy with that last episode. It'll never happen again. The next episode is going to be big, really big. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't even know how I'm going to manage it. It's so big. I've got a lot to come up with. So, let's go. Let's get into the chat here. What do we got? We've got the rum. Yeah, we're not doing rum because I got a wife. Who played drums? Ringo. That was the other thing at the Dodger Stadium concert. Ringo came in for the encore, and they did Helter Skelter and or something, and that was like an epic moment. And I thought, well, maybe he'll come out again because he was in L.A. Ringo's not touring, so he's probably got not much to do. He might come out for the encore again, and he didn't. Ringo may have been in the house, but he wasn't on the stage, so we kind of missed that. It's McCartney's band. He's been touring with this band for 20 years. It's the same guys. Pardon me, burping. Hologram. No, it was on the big monitors. And the other thing they did, and I think I said in the episode that like the stage is like a kind of a U. How do I do this? It's like a U, and there are two monitors here, and then you've got the stage back. Well, at Dodger Stadium, they had it wider and back with the monitors. So when Paul goes up and back into the set, and he gets up on the riser and he starts playing his grand, if you're on the sides, you still got an angle at Paul. You can see him. And at SoFi, because it's a football field and not a baseball field, they pushed the monitors forward and narrowed them in. So anybody along the sides you lose Paul when he goes back to the grand piano, and you just got to watch the monitor. And then you're like sitting there like this, watch the stupid SoFi monitor. So yeah, it wasn't the best thing. All right. After some time, Dominic Green says, after some time with the Audeze XCDs closed, have you come to terms with the bright area of the sound? No, I haven't spent enough time with them yet. I don't, and you guys know that I don't equalize as a rule. Is music too loud? If music too loud, let me know in the chat. I kind of like it though. It's kind of give me a vibe. Hey, I've been sick all week. Pardon me. You're going to get a few of those today. It's just the way it is. But I'm glad I'm here. I'd rather spend some sick time with you than sitting here on my computer. So, and this is the best part of the week. I love this hour we spend together. As a drummer, the more I grew up, I started appreciating Ringo's work over Danny Portnoy and Danny Carey and maturity. Yeah, and Ringo wasn't a showman. Ringo was a piece of the band, and he came out once or twice and came forward once or twice during the entire career with the Beatles. So, cheers, everyone. Wednesday, hump day, happy hour. All right, I'll drop the music just a bit. Thanks for the note, Zev. We'll just come down a little bit. Take it down. Take it down. Ringo is an amazing drummer. He's a great drummer. The other guy who's a great drummer, Paul. Paul. There's the running joke, or the running inside joke, was that Ringo wasn't even the best drummer in the band, because Paul, there were a lot of songs, especially in the later years, that Paul played drums on. It's still, you hear Ringo's work in A Day in the Life with those toms and the way he was keeping time with that. It was masterful work. Really masterful work. Props to Ringo. But Paul's a really good drummer. He played drums on a lot of, he played drums on all of Band on the Run because the drummer wouldn't go to Nigeria with him. He played drums on all of the McCartney 1, 2, and 3 albums. Played drums on, trying to remember some of the songs, but not Lady Madonna, but the other one, Ballad of John and Yoko. That was Paul and John played all the instruments on that song. So, Paul's righteous drummer too. Yeah, so good stuff. I still like, I love Paul McCartney, and I'll go see him play chopsticks on a piano anywhere. He's one of those guys. You just want to see it. But it was a little bit of a letdown of a concert, and then I got sick on top of it. So, yeah, not great. At least it, like I said, blessing is not COVID. So, what's everybody doing today? How's your week been going? What's exciting you? Gonna open the Carbon in a few minutes. I showed that off at the top of the show. Box came back from Audeze this week. I'm not going to do a full episode on something that I've already reviewed, but I'd like to make a spectacle out of opening something. Don't, far be it from me to take advantage of some production value of a box being opened. So I thought, hey, let's shove it into the live show. And have some fun and live with it. Why not? Haven't done that before. I've done one live unboxing. It was a little trinket that I didn't know what it was, but this one, we know what it is, but kind of cool, see what they did, see what they sent. Back from Audeze, like the LCD XC. Okay, I kind of fudged on that answer too. Have I come to terms with the bright area of the sound on the XC? No, and part of it is I just haven't listened to it much since I did that review. I did the review of the R9. I spent a good week with the R9s, like figuring them out and saying what I had to say about them. And then I haven't really jumped back into the XC. I've been using them though. I've been using them around the office, and I generally like them. I just think they have a little bit of a bright tonality to them, and I don't EQ for a number of reasons. First, for the show, for the sake of the show. It does me no good to get sent to equalize something and then tell you how I equalized it, because unless you have the exact same signal path, you're not going to be able to replicate my settings. And I can say, well, I put 2BD at a Q of 1.3 here at 6,000 hertz, and then I dropped it 1.5 dB at 8,000. I can tell you all of that stuff, and even if you replicate that exactly, those exact numbers, and do those exact slides and stuff at the different frequencies, unless you're using the same equalizer I'm using, it's going to sound different. You're not going to get the same results, because all EQ is different. And how do we know that? Because if we go to waves.com, or you go to any of the McDSP plugins, there are 1,000 different well, there's not 1,000. There's like 100 different EQ apps, and they all sound different, and they're all wonderful in their own way, but they don't have the same characteristics. So if I do an EQ here, I want it to be something that you guys, the viewers at home, can play along with and replicate and say, oh, this worked for me. But if I'm sending you out EQ stuff and you don't have my gear, it's not going to work for you. You won't be able to get the same sound, and that sucks. Where's the fun in that, and where's the fairness in that? It's not there. So I don't play the game of EQ much. And on my own, I mean, honestly, unless I EQ through Rune, which does have an EQ scheme with it, but it's kind of clunky, and it's not like a great EQ scheme anyway. And I can never figure out how to save something the way I want. It's just a pain in the butt. And, I'd want to save the data of what it was. There's a bird right outside my door. You obnoxious bastard. Do you hear the chirping? It's better than my coughing, I guess. I shouldn't bitch. All right, cheers to you, bird. You live to fight another day. Unless Holly's outside, in which case that bird's toast. If you're a bird or a rat, stay out of our hood. Holly will get you. Yeah, so I don't do the EQ, and then I don't have, I've thought at times about getting the RME. You guys know what I'm talking about, the RME? It's the graphic-y, equalizer-y DAC amp thing. And it looks really cool. I've seen it on other guys' shows, and I'm like, damn, that looks cool. That's cool to have on the air. To have all those. It looks great. It's visual. I'm a visual person. I've got visual stuff always going on screen. keep people interested. And I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. But you know, I don't have a way to integrate it easily into the system. I've got the chord stuff. Chord stuff is great. I like the way it sounds. Not everybody does, but it works for me. I like the crispness and all that, and then I use the tubes to kind of mellow things out, and that's a signal path that works for me. So I don't have a way to put the EQ easily into the system, and so yeah, there you go. That's why I don't EQ. Carbon, if we drop the vowels, my name would be Din. So hip would be the Dizkibben. Yeah, I know. I really got to work with. The one thing I would like to work with Audeze on is their naming. It's just, we got to work on this stuff. It's awful. It's really awful. Like, why not just call it the Carbon? It's a good name. It's not a bad name. And nobody's going to get mad at you to call it the CARBON. No, the CRBN. I don't get it. And then same thing. LCD5, LCD4, LCD3. Like, why LCD? It's probably actually an acronym for something. I don't know what it is, though. Zev is not a huge Beatles fan. Know little to nothing about them. But they do have some bangers. Yeah, I'm a Beatles fan anyway, and I had know a lot about them from reading and stuff over the years. I was kind of a nerd, and they were my band when I was young, and you know, kind of grew up. And I was, you know, I was what, 2 when they broke up, so I don't have a recollection of anything new, but that music was always in the house. My mom was more into the rock end of things. I liked the Beatles, and I liked that whole, especially the late Beatles, like anything 65, 66 and later. 66 and later really is like, you know, Revolver On for me. And it's only later that I got into Rubber Soul and those records. But and a lot of people, Rubber Soul I know is their favorite record. We all have favorites, but I was always the Pepper Magical Mystery Tour and Abbey Road, and then kind of grew my appreciation to include the White Album. You know, White Album is not an easy listen if you're coming from it from a pop, you know, like a youngster's mentality. I don't think. I think later on, when you start to feel the context and what was going on, you have a greater appreciation of that record. I didn't have an appreciation of it as much when I was younger. Certainly not as much as, say, Abbey Road, which is so digestible, and Pepper, which was so interesting, you know. But, yeah, I understand, you know, a lot of people don't. I actually have had, there was one comment, though. I mean, even if you don't know the Beatles and you're not a fan or whatever, if I say Paul McCartney, or if I say I'm going to the McCartney concert, y'all know what I'm talking about. I mean, there's very few. He's one of those names where, you know, you just say, even if I said, yeah, Paul's in town, I'm going to that concert, you're not going to think Paul Rogers off the bat. You know what I mean? Like, great singer, not the first choice. Paul Stanley, you know, Kiss. You know, no. There's one Paul, you know, there's one McCartney. There's, you know, there's a Jesse McCartney who actually bought one of my photos once for like $3,000, and I paid for a camera rig. That was, when you get a call from Disney saying, did you take that photo of Katy Perry? And I go, yeah. Well, we'd like to buy it from you. I said, well, and they said, how much do you want? How much do you want for it? And you're kind of on the spot. Story time, guys. I'm kind of on the spot, and you're thinking, well, it's Disney, so they have deep pockets, right? And then, so I'm like, well, I could, you know, really amp it up. I'm like, what, did it go like $5,000? Do you think would they do that? And I'm like, oh, that seems an awful lot. And then I know that paparazzi shots will go for like, you know, $2,000 sometimes for you know, somebody good on the street. So I'm like, okay, so, but then I'm like, if I undersell it, they're going to think I'm awful, you know, like I'm not a pro. So I said, how about 3,000? And they said, fine, we'll send you a check. And it literally paid for one of my camera bodies. I was so excited. A photo I took of Katy Perry. I'll show it off sometime. Really good photo, by the way. And it's in his video. I think it was called How Do You Sleep? I don't know. But he's driving in a car, in like a muscle car. And this is before Katy Perry was really huge. It was like she had the first album out and everybody kind of knew her, but it was all like, all she had done to that point was I Kissed a Girl, you know. So I'm like, so he's driving down the road in his badass like Mustang or something, and he turns down the visor and her picture's up there. Well, her picture is my picture. It's a picture I took. So I know a lot about copyrights. Story, that's my story. I took a picture once of Katy Perry when she was making a music video and she was in a bathing suit, and I got a call from Disney, and I was on Disney Ranch, and then a couple years later Disney called me and said, hey, we'd like to buy that photo of you. And I'm like, do you know she's on your ranch? Too funny. So that was that. Applying EQ. Okay, so let me get back to the chat here real quick. Zev likes applying EQ as in what it does for sound, but he hates feeling obligated to use it. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I don't have a problem with any way anybody wants to listen to their music. If they, I know the guys over at Headphones, especially Andrew, he loves EQ. He's a big EQ dude. I got nothing against that. I'm like, you know, if that's the way he does it, it's great. You know, whatever works for you, man. That's cool. It's just a lot of work for me, and then to find it the way I want it, and then I start tweaking, and I'm one of these people who's like, I hear this, and then I'm like, yeah, but now I'm compromising that part of it. Like, it's bad to give me those options, because I'll sit there and tweak for hours, and I'll still be like, it's just not, you know, it's easier for me to just plug it in and go. It's better for my mentality, because I'm you know, I'm a post-production person. That's what I do, is I move stuff around until it's just right. Where are we at? And again, guys, I'm sorry. If you're tuning in late, I'm under the weather. It's not COVID. I had a cold all week. I'm a little out of it. Sorry if I sneeze. Sorry if I cough. Voice isn't quite all there. I'm still recovering. Got a fever and all that, but it's not COVID. I've tested 4 times. So just want to catch everybody up to speed if you're just joining us. And I'm sitting, you know how it is when you're sick. It's like you're sitting around, you're doing nothing. Like, I'd rather be with you guys. So I'm with my best friends, and we're all hanging out, and there you go. Hey, Audeze CRBN sounds like a delicious midday snack. Well, it's going to be a happy hour snack for us in just a few minutes. Zev says he wish he knew more about everyone I listen to. He's just always gravitated towards bass, just not an avid fan. Okay. Well, Zev, you know what, the reason I like doing this show is because, and Holly's coming in. He's probably had enough of chasing the bird. Holly? Yeah. He's like, I had enough of you, dude. Screw you. I'm going to lay down. Y'all have met Holly before. If you're just joining us, well, there you go. But the reason I do, one of the things I love about this show is learning about new music that I haven't heard, and I check out most of the stuff you guys post in the comments, and then also sharing, because I'm a huge music lover. I love all kinds of music, and I wasn't always that way. Jazz was something I came to a little later in life. Country, I didn't like country at all growing up. Really didn't like it. Had a passion against it. And in my crowd, it was like you were all into like hard rock, or you were just, you know, totally loser. And I had to sneak my love for new wave and punk in. The guys I was hanging out with did not know about my, like, that I had a whole section of like Talking Head stuff and all this stuff that was like fringe at the time. They you know, they were all like Zeppelin and the Who, and they listened to, you know, Skinner, and they were all like the harder stuff, the hard rock, and some of them were branched off into metal and were getting into Dio and that stuff as it was becoming popular, going into the Headbangers Ball era, which came slightly after I was in high school. But I was into radio, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit in the next big episode. But I was a radio guy. We had a radio station at our high school. It was WHSD, 88.5 FM on your dial. And Holly, want to go back out? You can go. All right, go ahead. Don't lie to me, you bastard. But I was into radio, and the radio station was modeled after an independent radio station down in Carbondale, where I wound up going to college, probably all tied in some loose way. That was all in indie. It was all when alt was coming up. IDB was like one of the standards in the Midwest. They were a college radio station, but they had a really big transmitter, and they could get all the way out to St. Louis and into Kentucky to the east. So really powerful radio station, and they put out. They were making college radio at the time, which was the rise of alt rock and punk and the stuff that you would never hear on main Chicago radio, which, you know, main Chicago radio, the craziest you had out there on the fringe was a station called WXRT, which played more like deep cuts. They were deep cuts of famous bands, and they would throw in some blues and, you know, some stuff that was more like traditional, Albert Collins and, you know, like B.B. King, and they would put that in with the Aerosmith and the other stuff, but they didn't play a lot of like the major cuts off any of those groups. They always dug deep into the album, but you never would hear like, and I'm talking about early 80s. By the late 80s, things started changing, but in the early 80s, it was like Talking Heads, Clash, Sex Pistols, Dead Kennedys, you know, anything that was that fringe, we had no place on the radio. And we had a radio station that would play that stuff. It was very small transmitter. It went like 2 towns wide. I'm not talking like it was a big deal or anything. It wasn't. It was just students running a transmitter, and they had the funding from the parents' club to put the transmitter up and go. But what was really cool was that they had these reels on shelves. And it was these reels that were deep. They were loaded with music, and it was all this alt stuff from IDB. And I don't know if somebody had a friend down there who went down there, and they would send their reel-to-reel down there, and they would load it up with songs, with like these rich songs from the, you know, like from the fringe, from the punk world and from the new wave world. Devo, never heard Devo on the air in Chicago, but the IDB was playing them, and, you know, way down south, you couldn't get them in Chicago. And remember, there's no internet. There's nowhere else to hear this stuff. Either you went into the record store and you knew what you were looking for and you sought it out, or you wouldn't be exposed to it. So to have that resource of all of these reels and all of these carts and stuff at our fingertips with all this crazy music that none of us are, Ministry, all that stuff, and to have that as a wealth of a pool of stuff to play in, plus our own records, every day was just, it was the best time. It was the best time. And I did like 4 or 5 hours on the air every day for about a year. And it was really a great time. Time of my life. Really loved doing that. And never had a fear of microphones as a result. Never really wanted to be on camera like this, but I always tell people I have a face for radio anyway. Okay, back to the chat now. I got a lot to catch up on because I went down a rat hole there. I hope you all are with me still. No, we lost viewers. See, there's a little counter over here, and it's like, you know, it tells you. So if somebody doesn't like the story, they're out of here. Sorry, guys. Okay, so let's get back to the ML Jenkins. He's 34 now, so that was his talking about his journey. He found the Beatles through the White Album when he was 16. I guess you would run this audio journey in a weird way. Yeah, it's. I think everybody comes to all of this music. Usually it's through our parents, but Adnan learned about Paul when he was in high school, 99. Oh my God, Adnan, Adnan's our young guy. I learned about Paul when he was in high school in '99. Ooh, all the years. On MTV, back when MTV played music. Well, yeah, I was, you know, I remember MTV going on the air and Video Killed the Radio Star and JJ and all those great VJs. We were too poor to have cable, though. I didn't have them regularly. I only got to see them once in a while. Miss those days. Yeah, I love the old days, and I love the you know, I wish I were just a little bit older, because I would have been in a better, like, that era. I would have loved to have been a little bit older and been going through right when New Wave was coming in and right when punk was taking off, because that was super exciting. And in the 80s, it was, you know, we were dominated by Madonna, and you know, the pop was really not the best. And a lot of people love Madonna. I got nothing against it. It's just, it wasn't for me. So yeah, I didn't get there. So JTB, welcome JTB. Everybody cheers JTB in the house. Woohoo! Happy Wednesday, happy hour, hang out at the Director's Garage. And JTB says, if I can read this, sorry guys, I'm a little spacey today, a little out of it. You have to clarify country music. Old country like Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams is good stuff. Today's country sucks donkey balls. Well, pardon me, and I'm still getting over a cold for those of you just joining in. Yeah, it's I don't like pop country, like what country has kind of become. It's not my. But I still like some Garth. I still like some of the, even like the guys who are a little more. I just don't like the frontline stuff where it's all the same. It sounds very similar to me, and I think it's because they have a lot of the same writers writing for all these people. That's my opinion. Controversial. Nashville's a big machine now. You have writers, you have performers, and they all meet in the studio and they dole their songs out to whoever they think is right. The old country stuff, yeah. I mean, I didn't have an appreciation for it when I was younger. It took me to get, you know, a little older in life, and then I started to like go back and listen to the old stuff, and I love to hear how what Hank Williams was doing crosses with like what Robert Johnson was doing. Very different artists, but they're not all together that different, you know, in the same way. And I like hearing that contrast. Really great. Nephilim81, happy Wednesday. Hello. Happy Hump Day. Hang out at the happy hour at the Director's Garage. I'm tuning in today just because I've been sick for too long. So, getting over it, and we're just hanging out talking today. And I'm sorry if I'm stuffed up, and if it's, I don't blame anybody for tuning out. We're just, I honestly, it's like I'm getting a little stir crazy sitting around the house, and I wanted to do something. So, in a few minutes here, I'm going to unbox, as it said in the title, the Audeze Carbon Unboxing Live. I'm going to do that. See how they sent it to us. I don't know. They went back in. They got a tune-up. They did something about the driver flex, where the diaphragm was sticking to the stator. It was causing a big pop, very loud, obnoxious pop. They apparently had some tweak that went into the later models that reduced that, and that would be really good news for those of us who hurt our hearing on the rather loud popping in the carbon. Zev says he was born in the 80s, but wish he grew up in the 80s. So that's me. That was when I'm being like 13 in 85 or something. I was 18 in 85. He's now 37. I'm now 55. Oh God, guys, the years go fast. I got a time theory. My time theory is, as you get older, time accelerates. I know Einstein might disagree, but relativity may not apply. But as you get older, time goes by faster. Like when I was 8 years old, summer vacation was like an eternity. It was like a year. We had a year of getting up every day and running through the forest, and I sound like I lived on the prairie. We had like these woods outside of our house, and it was all undeveloped and swampy and terrible, but we would go and run through these woods and whatever, and we had tree houses, and people broke bones and got into trouble. But yeah, those 3 months seemed like a year. And then you got into my teens, and it was like, well, a year wasn't as long, but it was still hard. And then in the 20s, it was like everything was kind of balanced. And in the 30s, I started noticing that they were clicking by a little faster. The 40s went through like that. Like, I turned 40, and I turned 50 about 3 hours later. And now it's like, hey, where are the brakes on this train? I want to slow down and enjoy some of this. Can't. You know, you're just on this ride. It's amazing how time speeds up as you get older. It's a thing. Trust me. So enjoy it while you got the time now. Damn it, kids. So stupid. Okay, JTB Death Row from Chris Stapleton. And Chris Stapleton's good. Yeah, I agree with JTB. He's got more of a rock vibe. He's like that crossover between like hard rock and country, which is a good place to be. A lot of great bands came out of that crossover. Allman Brothers, and they were maybe more on the blues side, but Leonard Skinner, and I mean, there's some great hard rock country bands. The Outlaws. Oh man, good stuff. Molly Hatchet. Huh? Some Molly Hatchet. Flirting with Disaster out of it. Yeah, loved all that stuff. Really good. Even Charlie Daniels was pretty good. In those days, Anand says, from what he heard, if your band could make it to radio, you made it. Yeah, that was a big deal. And the things people did to get on the radio. Mark Knopfler had a really good story about that. He had been recording with his band, Dire Straits. Couldn't get any traction. Couldn't get a label interested. Drops off the Sultan of Swing at a radio station, just a demo of it, and the guy heard it and loved it and started playing it, and the next thing you know, he got a contract and Dire Straits was off and running. Something like that. I may have the details of that slightly wrong, and I know there's another guy. Was it Ray? Maybe Ray Charles. Somebody made a record. I think his first song, his first hit, which might have been "Mess Around," but recorded it and put it out, and they didn't have him signed. That became a little problem when it came to royalties. We don't exactly have him under contract. There was a story about that. I think it was Ray Charles. It might have been somebody else. Completely recommend Devo and early B-52s. Yeah, B-52 is another. Just what a great band. Great band. So good. And they're on their farewell tour finally. Kate's 74. I can't believe it. I mean, like, I can't believe she's that. You wouldn't know it. Her voice is amazing. Crazy. Mr. Number One here. Sorry, he's like, what did he miss? Yes, I'm sick. It's all in my head and fevery and all that. And I've only coughed a couple times, so at least I've been keeping the libations going. Oh, here goes my coaster. Going down. Yes. So, yeah, I'm not doing well. It's been a rough week, but no COVID. There you go. I'll do a couple more, and then I'm going to open this package. Nephilim says, Rush would say time stands still. Yeah. That was a good one. Dave Matthews Band. I like Dave Matthews. He gets... Yeah, he is polarizing, Dave Matthews. I like it. Some people feel it's too... what do I say? Too formulaic. Like his stuff is very formulaic, but look, ants marching, like all that stuff. I have some of his live stuff. His concerts are really interesting. Very much like the Grateful Dead. Every version of his song sounds different. Like unlike, I was talking about the McCartney thing earlier, where everything was like the same breaks and everything in all the songs. It was exactly as he did at Dodger Stadium when he played there in 2019 at SoFi last Friday. Dave Matthews is one of these guys that every concert is different. Every single concert is different. That's really kind of interesting. They don't play to a track. Part of it means that the performers have to do more work, because I don't know if you guys know the technicals behind concert stuff, but there's a click track. Most bands, U2, let's use U2 for an example, because they're really masters of this. They have a click track for every song, and timed to that click track is visuals that go into each monitor, and things, lighting gags, and all of this stuff. It's all pre-programmed into a computer. So when they get on stage, they run the click track, they play to the click track. They're playing live music. There's nothing, there's very little that's like added, that's pre-recorded. There might be a couple of sound effects here and there, but for the most part, it's all live. But they stay on time because their songs are timed to visuals, and things have to happen at certain moments. And if things are out of time, and say there's a pyrotechnics thing like McCartney had for Live and Let Die, and you got a guitarist in the wrong place and the thing goes off, you've just fried a guitarist, right? There's safety reasons for this, as well as the cool of having all the images pop up when you're talking about when you're singing about it. REM did that on their tour for End of the World as We Know It. They always had a lot of visual stuff happening behind them. And that's all timed. It's timed to a click track. Now, does that mean that the solos are exactly the same? No, because what they do is they go, okay, now you've got 8 bars to do your solo edge. So whatever solo you decide to do that day is fine, but you have 8 bars only to do it. Or we'll extend it out and give you 16 bars. So you can go 16 bars, and then we'll come back in and we'll go to the next section of the song. But it's all timed. And the thing that makes Dave Matthews Band and Grateful Dead so different is that they're not timed. There's no click track that they're playing along to. It's old school. It's the guys on stage, drummer keeping time, and they're playing the songs. It's a very different thing. The pop stars like Taylor Swift, they're all on click track because they have stuff that comes from the ceiling, and all that stuff has to happen at a specific time, and everybody has to be in the right spot. And if they're not in the right spot, somebody gets hurt. And so that's how they do it. So that's the cool thing about Dave Matthews, is that they don't do any of that stuff. Every song, every version of it is unique to that thing. And like McCartney, like he pulled out the ukulele again and started playing something, and then they transitioned to the full band. It was identical with the visuals of George in the background doing the scroll thing and like all that. It was exactly like a carbon copy, and they do that. They have to do that. Okay, let's do a little unboxing. What do you say, folks? I haven't done one of these. Whoa! I hit a button. Don't hit that button again. All right, so I've got with me a camera overhead. Look at that. All right, so I can do this. Oh, I might need a light up there, though. Let's put a light up there. Let's see. Ever prepared. Now let's see. Oh, we have a lit hand. Much better. All right, we'll slide this off to the side. How's everybody doing? Let's take a little cheers first. Let me get some stuff in my throat. I'm sorry I'm a little under the weather, guys. But we're going to go do a little thing. Let's see. So this is what came back from Audeze. And yeah. Wow, this is a great camera. I love this overhead camera. This is a Sony up here. Got a love this camera. It's really good. Great autofocus. Like, it will find focus that fast. So good. All right. I don't have a quote or anything because, you know, I prep all that stuff. You honestly thought that I did that stuff live. No, it's all written. Okay. So let's see what I did. I'll try not to... Oh, lost it. Did I lose my keyboard? I think I lost my keyboard. All right. Oh, I lost everything. I can't turn this off. Okay. Well, maybe we can... Can I cut on the switcher? Cut. Ooh. Well, this is interesting, folks. Oh, I see what maybe what happened. I think my... Yeah, it looked like... Oh, better. I thought my switcher crapped out. And then I'm like, well, how do I do that? Do I reboot this? Do I have to shut the stream down? What do I got to do? No, it's just... it's okay. That's all good. Okay, so I'm through this. And I'm through this. It's going to be a very short show if I have to do this for the rest of the episode. Lean in from below. Okay. And... Wow! Oh, we got some bubble wrap. Let's get this out. Let's see. All right. Oh, okay, RMA. Have a nice day. I'm glad. Well, I'm certainly glad they didn't put a post-it note of my address on this or anything, because then I'd be like, oh, great. You didn't see that. Yes, you did. So, sorry. This is all the stuff we clean up and post normally. So, let's see. So this is the RMA and all that. This really does need an Audeze logo here, don't you think? I'd love to see it. They should be branding this stuff a little better. Wow. And there they are. There they are. Look at that. The carbon is back in the house. That's so cool. Guys, these are an amazing accomplishment of a headphone. You hear that? That is a screw loose. I mean, it's literally, it sounds like a marble game. You know those marble games you used to play when you were a kid? You try to get the marbles in the holes? Well, I'm not turning these on if there's something rattling around inside. Because these are electric, and you put 650 volts into something where there's a screw loose, and you're going to get zapped. Oh, yeah. I mean, like, there's a small screw or something that is rolling around on the inside of this thing. Ooh, that's bad. That could be deadly. You can't do that, right? You hear that? Oh, that's horrible. Okay, well, back to Audeze with you, folks. That was a major disappointment. Yeah, there's something in the left cup, and yeah, you don't mess around when you got this thing's going to put 650 watts into this cup, and if you got something going on rolling around in there, that's going to go zzz and short. Oh, that's bad. Okay, well, back to Audeze with these, because that's not good. That's not supposed to be that way. Yeah, so, well, that's a shame. Okay, well, Audeze, you're getting a call. And when they say, what is it? I'm going to say, watch the Director's Garage live. You can learn live what's on the air, what's wrong with this headphone. Let's play What's About to Shock Michael. Shit. Okay. Well, that wasn't good. Well, that's another on-air moment gone down the drain. What are you going to do? What are you going to do, folks? Okay. So, yeah, that was this. That was for the Stacks Fart issue, and that's what it was. And they're going to repair the Stacks Fart issue by making the whole thing short out and fry my head. Oh, that's bad. That is bad. Okay. Well, all right. Let me catch up with the chat now. That's true. Pardon me. That was funny. ML Jenkins says he's not sure he trusts me with a knife currently, and that's probably a pretty good assessment because I've lost a little bit. Okay, Nephilim's happy to be here. That's good. Cheers, everybody. It's Wednesday, happy hour, Hump Day Hangout. I'm glad you guys could join us, and by us I mean me and my cold. JTB is a little distracted watching the Rangers versus Carolina playoff game. How are the Rangers doing? JTB, give us a little sports update from the New York sports desk. What's going on with your team? I have not been following the playoffs at all. Lotway, sup, Michael? Sup, dude? Everybody cheers, Lotway. Glad you could join us. It's our little Wednesday hangout we do every week here. Try to do every week here. And everybody's welcome. We have a good time. And I just unboxed live on the air, and Audeze returned to me. I sent my Audeze CRBN in to get it tweaked. They were going to get rid of the Stacks Fart issue, the shorting, the driver flex. And it came back with a rattle in it. And if you put electricity through the rattle, I think it's going to take that screw, whatever it is, it's going to short it to something. So, yeah, that's a little problem. Got a little problem with that, don't I? Yeah, so that was a little letdown. It's another live stunt down the tubes. It's all right, guys. We'll get them better. We'll get them next time. Next episode, by the way, going to be huge. Those of you who are just joining me now, episode 107. We just did 106. Episode 107 is going to be a major, major episode. I've got the most expensive thing I've spent money on in the Director's Garage. I'm unboxing in the next episode. And it's so far out of left field, and the guesses are great and they're fun, but they're not even close. This is, you know, I said in the last episode, you'll never guess it. And I really mean it. You'll never guess this. It's so bizarre. It's so out of left field, but it's really cool. And I really can't wait to show it to you guys. I'm super excited. I haven't started shooting yet because I got this cold and I really want to be on my game for that episode. It's an episode that could and hopefully will bring in a lot of viewers. And if you know anything about this show, it needs viewers, folks. We need viewers. We need subscribers. We need viewers. So like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll do the pitch now. Click the subscribe button down below. Give us a thumbs up if you're enjoying your little hangout here today. And if you're not, well, you can do the other thing too. It registers the same. It's just a reaction. It's all YouTube cares about. They don't care whether you like it or not. They just want you to react and feel engaged. Not in the marital sense, like we're giving away half our stuff. So yeah, there's that. Subscribe, and then you won't miss the next episode. That's kind of cool. And then I can't wait to show that off. That's 5 months in the making, guys. I'm serious. I've been planning for this for 5 months, and to have that all come down in the next thing, that's great. I just don't want to shoot it until I'm feeling better. I'm just so beat up. Voice is tore up, you know, head's tore up. Not good. So let's see, where were we at? Nephilim says, the rattle sounds lifelike. Yes, it sounds like a rattlesnake, doesn't it? Yeah, they did not fix the rattle. They did not fix it with a rattle. The rattle will not eliminate the stack spark. That's going to be something different. First time watching my live stream. Well, ZH Master, here's how we do it around here. Everybody has to drink, and the new guy in the chat has to drink double. So, sorry. Find your nearest beverage. It better be alcoholic, and not that we're making people drink. We wouldn't do that here. JTB wants a refund. He probably wants a refund on this stream. I'm so sorry, guys. This is not me at my best. I'm under the weather. I've had a rough week. Rangers, here we go. This is the live sports report from JTB. The Rangers have made it to the second round after beating the Penguins in 7 games in overtime. Very stressful game. Playing the Hurricanes in round 2 now. So tonight's the opener, I'm guessing. That's my sports report. Ryan Dietz speakers. It's just so, dude. Just that's so like this show is weird. This show is strange. This show is like offbeat. It goes for the thing that nobody expects at all times. So yeah, it's like that's just too. No, it's too basic. Speakers would be an easy thing. And I don't want to do speaker show. I've said that before on this show because I don't have room for it. Like, how do I do that and make it interesting for you guys? You know, I don't think I can. I've seen Zeos do it, and he does his own thing, and he's doing the on the head thing. That's fine, but I want to do a production show, and I don't know how you get past 2 giant speakers staring at you, and you're staring at it. Like, headphones are, you know, I can show you shit about these. Like, we can look at them. We can, we can look at them if I'm there. You know, I can show you stuff. I can show you how cool look how cool the Phillips head screws are, and they're placed so nicely on this, and they blend in some, you know, Audeze did some great work on this, and, you know, look at the hinge system, and here's the plug at the bottom. Like, there's stuff I can show off on a headphone. I don't know that I can do that with a speaker and keep it interesting. I don't think you'd have a lot of success if you just did, if you did loudspeaker stuff. I don't think it would work. Not that I won't, I'll probably show off my amp when I get my amp back from downtown. They're recapping my massive Dan D'Agostino designed Krell KSA 150, 100, whatever the hell it is. Massive chunk of metal. It's amazing. Can't wait for that one. So yes, talk about saying yes. Oh, and if I had plugged those in and turned them on, you would have seen a live death on the internet. So, or you would have seen my hearing completely destroyed. Like, if I didn't have the tinnitus before, wait till after I plug the Audeze in with a screw rolling around on the inside of it. So yes, so I can't wait to show off episode 107. I'm hoping that it's like one of these big landmark episodes, because I spent a lot on this, and it's really cool. It's really cool. Got some good history with it, so very exciting. ZH Master, you deserve more viewers. Such production value, except for today. My production value today would have been smoke coming out of my head as I plugged in and turned on my Audeze Carbon that came back. That would have been quite a show. Music appreciation this week goes to the Fine Young Cannibals. You drive me crazy. Man, I got enough. I got enough crap in my voice. I could probably do them this week. Highly recommended. Yeah, they're great. They're great. I had that record. I don't know if I still have it. Maybe it was a CD, because I was kind of in that CD era. Just, you know, I have so much music, I don't remember what it is I bought and what it is, you know, in vinyl, and what it is that I acquired in digital. And this, check that out. Now, yeah, please do. Find Young Cannibals, great group, great group. Did some fantastic stuff back in the 80s and even into the 90s a little bit. Mr. Number One here, is it an industry standard measuring device? Though measuring doesn't seem my style. You know me. No, it's funny because I'm the measure twice, cut once person. The one thing that you will know about me, if we get to hang out too much, is that the one thing I hate more than anything in life is having to do something twice. Like, my time is so scheduled, and I'm so like always going from thing to thing that I will take my time and get it done the first time, but then we're done. Then we're like, we're not going back. So make your decisions. This doesn't always work great when you're with a team and you've got a bunch of people that are like flaking and changing their mind all the time, because that's when I go a little bananas, because I'm like, I've asked you 3 times if this is your final version of this and you keep coming back to me with let's do it again. So yeah, that's it's rough, but I don't like doing anything. So yes, it's a measuring device, doesn't seem my style. I actually did, if you look back, I did a couple of videos where I did some stuff with like trying to fix things, and I have an oscilloscope here. I don't fully understand it, but I understand it enough. I understand what I'm looking at. I'm looking at an electrical impulse over time on it. And then, you know, voltage one way. So, and frequency the other. But I get it, but I don't, yeah, you're right. I'm not the greatest. I'm not the greatest at it, at this stuff. It's something that I aspire to learn as I'm retired. And I don't have to crank out stories every single day for a TV show and try and get a YouTube show out half hour every week. It's one of those hobbies that are pushed off, like playing piano. Someday I'm going to be a great piano player. It's not going to be for 10 years, though, because I still got a long way to go. I got a lot to do. Pardon me, guys. I'm going to cough. Being sick is so great, but it's not COVID. Cheers to not having COVID. Hope everyone's having a good week. I've had a pretty good one. Sitting at home, feeling like crap. It's been awesome. Goodness, that amp from Dan is going to be fantastic. Yes, especially with new caps in it. What happened was the cap wouldn't hold a charge, and then the power that wasn't being stored in the cap was being forwarded on to the next component, which couldn't handle that kind of load because it's supposed to be regulated by a capacitor, and it went pop, and it puffed up some smoke. So yeah, we're replacing some stuff. On that, and there he's going to recap the whole amp, which is really cool. Nephilim says, funny thing is, Michael could have formed an airtight lawsuit with Audeze, except I'd have lost my hearing. Nephilim. Can I have all the headphones I want? Yeah, okay. ZH Master says, cheers. He has a mega pint of wine. You listen to me long enough and you'll hear me whine too. It's also scientifically correct that the left ear hears more than the right. Does that matter if you're left or right-handed? I think if you're dominant, one side's dominant, the other side, I don't know. He noticed that with his planer, so he's wondering if it's him or his 3 headphones. Well, check your amp. Check the voltages on your amp on the output side. That will tell you if you are out of balance on your amp. That's the easiest way to do it. Check the voltage out of the left channel, check the voltage out of the right channel, and if they are identical, then you know you're okay, that it's something else. Or the jack. Jack could be bad. Could be shorting. So, wow. It's been quite a week. How are y'all doing? What are you looking forward to in the next week? Is there? I haven't heard of any like major new headphones coming out. I think there's maybe an IEM drop in Asia from like, but I don't know for sure. I was like, I was so out of it. I was just flicking through my iPad on the Twitters, and they had there were a couple of things there that looked new to me, but I didn't investigate. I was too out of it. So I don't think there's anything new coming out as far as headphones in the next little bit. There's nothing planned. Somebody could drop a bomb. There is a big show coming up in Zurich, isn't there? Germany? Sweden? Switzerland? Geography 101, folks. Not my deal. Yeah, there is a Zurich, Switzerland show coming up, I believe, and I think DMS went there. I thought I saw that on the Twitter too. So we all tweet, twat at each other, follow that stuff, and I think he's going over there. Try to get the TNA Solitaire. That's down to Audio 46. They gotta pony up and send me something interesting. Munich. There you go. Munich would be in Germany. I've been to Munich. Thank you for the clarification. But it's over there. It's in that Europe stuff. It's where you don't want to be at the moment. It's a little close to the action, to the live action that's going on over there. Not sure I want to be in that scenario. I also know that Cannes is going on right now. And today was the Top Gun premiere, and they gave Tom Cruise the Palme d'Or. I don't know. But I'm not covering that. Nope, I'm stuck at home with sickness. I got a game show tomorrow I'm supposed to cover, but I think they are going to reassign it because they don't want to get anybody sick, and I don't want to get anybody sick. But at least it's not COVID, folks. At least it's not COVID. What else can I talk about today? What would you like to hear about? I was so excited because I had the Blue Hawaii is right back here. It was all ready to receive, and it was ready to go. I dusted it off. I made sure the tubes were clear. Not good, folks. It's not the sound you want to be hearing. Oh, what did they do? What did they do, folks? What did they do? That's so sad. That's so sad. They came back a little scruffy too. There's like some sticky stuff here. They must have glued the pads on. Wow. That is a shame. Quite a set, though. God, I thought it was going to be so cool. I thought I was going to get to, maybe I'll do a little live audition, something like that. You thought about cooperating with ZMFs or Josh to you can get a little more exposure? I'm not opposed to any of that. I think it comes down to time. It comes down to, I'm also not their cup of tea exactly, I don't think either. They're real technical guys, and I'm more about the enjoyment of the hobby and having fun with it and getting to know people and talking music. I'm into the music end of it more than I am the graph of it and, how I can break something down. And having and entertaining, because this is entertainment field, folks. I honestly believe that. I believe we should be having fun with our headphones. I don't think we should be like, oh, it's that, I'm gonna put them on and get this golden experience. Like, no, it's we're having fun. We're listening to some kick-ass music and through some kick-ass gear, and you got great bass and stuff that's just grabbing you by the soul and pulling you through. Yeah, it's great. That's what it's about for me. And I don't know that that's those guys I don't think are as on board with that style. So I don't know. Josh has said he wants to get to, not Josh, but Andrew has said he wants to get together and try and collab on something before. And that's, I'd be totally open to it. And I totally respect all those guys. I respect their shows and what they do. It's not the show that I want to do, you know. So we could find some middle ground and maybe have some fun doing something, but I don't know what it would be. I'm definitely an acquired taste. I said that before. So I'm like, I really enjoy. I like Andrew's Hangout on Saturdays, and they're a good time, and all those guys over there and are great. And I've watched. I don't get to watch a lot of the other shows. But I try to catch Andrew's live stream occasionally. And if one of them does a headphone that I'm interested in seeing what their take on something was, it's really interesting to hear somebody else's take on something that I've heard. And sometimes people hear things different. And that's okay. You know, we all have different hearing. But a lot of times it's in agreement. And with the LCD XC, I 100% hear what Andrew is talking about when he says that these need EQing. I can tell. It's like it's 7K-ish. It's like there's just something up there that's on the bright side, and if you just would just ease that, smooth that transition into the treble, into the upper treble, you'd be in better shape. But so I totally agree. You know, I can totally see their points. I just am like, that's a component of the headphone, and like on balance though, fantastic bass, little on the heavy side. I can see where people these, but I also sometimes I like the idea of it being kind of a chunkier headphone on your head. You know, you're in this like. There's something substantial about wearing a headphone this heavy. It's kind of cool, you know. I don't know. So I appreciate it as much as I don't appreciate it. But yeah, you know, different. Everybody feels and has different opinions about stuff, and I like finding the common ground. I just don't, you know, the measurements and all that. That's kind of where those guys tend to make their meals, and I'm like, measurements just don't interest me. I'm like, well, tell me how it sounds. I would rather you use your best words to explain it to me in a way that I can kind of understand, than for you to just show me, you know, a squiggly graph. It's like that's a cop-out. I want to hear what you think. Tell me what you think. Where does it go right? Where does it go wrong? You know? And that's what I like about my show, is that I try to find examples of here's what it's doing right, and here's like that same song, and here's what it's doing not so right, you know. That's the stuff that interests me. And then talking about the music too. Very, very important to me. Thought about cooperating. So yes, the way I found it was way too hard to explain. Well, the one thing we did recently, I really, you know, part of the problem is that I don't have, look, those guys, the guys that you know about are doing this for a living. You know, they're either selling headphones or they're in the industry for a living. That's what they do. And full respect to them, because, you know, they're making a living off of their passion. My passion is telling stories. That's what I do for a living. If somebody asks me what I do, I say I tell stories using words and pictures. You know, that's what I do. And when I do a headphone, I'm telling you the story of this headphone. How did it present itself to me? What was I excited about? What, you know, how does it feel? How does it make me feel when I wear them? Is it, you know, all of that stuff is part of telling a story. And to me, you know, if you can tell the story in an interesting way with great visuals, it's more compelling. And that's what I get out of it. But I don't do this, headphones, and this show for a living. This is my hobby. This is like my hangout time with you guys. You're all my friends, and I consider you all my friends, even if you don't like my reviews and if you don't like my show, don't like me. That's fine. Plenty of room. It's a big tent. People who don't like me, but. This isn't my main gig. Like, my main gig is as I write for television and I direct for television. I go out and do shoots, and I shoot stuff that's kind of cool, that's kind of fun to bring in here and share with you guys. It's something to, you know, hey, there's something you don't get to see every day, and I get to show it to you guys, and that's kind of fun. So we're different. As all this is a way of saying, you know, like, I'm just different from what they do. And that's great, and so I think, you know, I look forward to maybe someday collabing with these guys, and it sure would be nice to get a couple more viewers on the channel, and I've been fighting my own demons. Makes it sound really dark. The horror. What's that? Apocalypse Now? The horror. But I'm fighting my own, you know, my own worst enemy, which has been my ability to crank out material, to crank out episodes. How these other shows, these other channels get known, and how they get promoted by YouTube, is that they're putting up 4 or 5 episodes, you know, a week, or 3 or 4 episodes a week, whatever. And I had a point in time when I was able to get 2 out consistently, and then work came back alive after COVID, and I've been chasing my tail, just getting 1 out a week. And that's, I wind up sick. My wife is texting me about a dog. I can't deal with that. But we're, for those interested, we have my in-laws are getting up in age, and we want to get them. They lost their dog about a year ago, so they've been without a dog, and it really does affect them and their happiness. So we're getting them a service dog that can take care of them in their later years. So that's what we're doing. So a lot of texts going back and forth today about this dog we found for them. It's going to be a big surprise. So I hope they're not watching. They wouldn't watch. They're 80 years old. What do they care about me? So yeah, the way to get, back on topic as we went down another rat hole, the way to get growing faster is to get people to upload more frequently. And so headphones.com is getting it done because they have 3 or 4 reviewers uploading to one channel. So they're gaming the system, not gaming, they're just playing the way it should be played by getting a whole bunch of videos out every week to that one channel, and so that one channel becomes something that YouTube will grab onto and promote because it's getting a lot more viewers, and it's getting a lot more viewers because it all builds on itself. So here's me pushing out 1 episode a week, and then I've added the live stream as a way to, well, first of all, a way to connect because I actually enjoy this time, believe it or not. Hope that comes through. If it doesn't, fooled you. I want it will help the show grow if I'm putting more time on the air, and this is an extra episode. That's just a fun thing that we do for an hour and a half every week, hanging out. That's great. But it's not going to get me, it's not kicking the algorithm at all, folks. So, yeah, we're growing. We're just growing slow. It's a slow grow. And we're not doing bad. We're about 50 short of 4,000. Wish I could get those 50 subscribers and get to that 4,000 number. I'm awfully sick of looking at 3.9 on my little counter here. Oh, the bubble wrap's popping. We're going to need that bubble wrap to send that back. A couple more, and then we'll call it a day for today because I am under the weather, and I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I'm doing it anyway. And cheers, guys. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with your sick friend from Southern California. Hope y'all are having a better week than me and feeling a lot better than me. Of course, if you're drinking scotch, you're probably feeling a lot better than me. Have I? Okay, back a couple more, and then we'll call it up. Let me find out where we're at. So yes, thought about collaborating. It's just got to work out, and then the other thing is timing. I'm so like my schedule is so tight. Of course, saying that after I've been in bed for 3 days, kind of doesn't fall true. I'm lying. No. Watley says, if you like Michael, be sure to check out Convince Me Audio. Lovely guy is blind, but his ears are made of gold. I believe it. There's a lot of great guys, and blind, not blind. I've nothing but respect for folks, and especially if they enjoy music as much as I do. I can connect with anybody. Have I tried the Stax 007 or L700? No. Have not gone to the 007 series, and I've heard that they're actually the most Audeze-like. They're the most carbon-like, whatever that means. I just haven't heard them. I've had, as you know, I've had the 009 and the 009S in-house. Didn't like them. Lots of detail, and the build. Worst. I mean, you got a build that's about on par with this $600 headphone that's bad. That's the Stax. Now the X9000 I know is different, but there's some design cues I think I was like shocked that they took on that. Okay, so understandable. Hopefully you will grow quicker by the day. Well, I hope so. And if not, we'll just keep doing what we do. I'm doing what I do for my enjoyment, and hopefully some other people get some laughs out of it, and I got no ill feeling toward anybody else, who's doing this. A lot of people want to see the, have fun with what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I just hope people get a kick out of I put a lot of effort into those shows, into the main shows. I put a lot of effort into this show, just staying awake with the sickness. Wrapping down here. Don't change a bit. No, I can only be me. That's all I can give you is me. Great ideas, persistence will pay off. I hope so. Good Guy Bad Audio Reviews does exactly that. He uses music down to the timestamp to show what the gear is doing right and wrong. Yeah, he does a lot of IEMs, and my problem I've had is on this show the IEMs don't rate. Anytime I put an IEM show, even if it's like a great IEM, it's like I have trouble pulling the viewers down. Everybody tunes in for over-ears in America, apparently. I don't know. My over-ear shows do much better. The next episode's a bit of a fingers crossed. I hope it works. I can't wait to show it to you guys. I wish I could tease. I can't. I'm going to do a teaser video, though, before we get to, before it airs, because I can do the teaser while I'm sick still. Just shoot some stuff of it. Make something interesting. Sorry. Burping from all the soda. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by today. Tip your waiters and waitresses. Happy hour is coming to a close. There we go. Got the close music playing. And I want to hope you guys have a good rest of your week. I mean, we do this for fun. We do this for... JTB doesn't care about IEMs. See? Yeah, that's the problem. As I don't think that a lot of people do. At least here. In Asia, massive. It's a huge audience in Asia. That's all they care about. In America, we want the big chunk. And they want the Fords on their head. They don't want the little Honda Spirit. So cheers, everybody. I hope you had a good time. I hope it was worth... I'm sorry, voice is bad and I'm all clogged up and blah, 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 blah. But I was glad to spend spend an hour and a half with you guys today. And we did do an attempted unboxing. It just was a total fail as usual. My unboxings go, especially live. It's never going to go great. And but I'm gonna have the next episode. You may even see me before you see the next episode. We might do another live before I get the next episode out. It's gonna be hard to shoot this next one. I'm not sure how it's all gonna go down. I got some loose ideas, but boy, it needs some fleshing because it's gonna be hard to do. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. Keep guessing, keep doing what you're doing, and listen to some good music for the rest of the week. And I'll see you guys before you know it. Cheers.
Thank you.